The problem is a lot of us get caught up, myself included, especially. This is why I'm doing this episode. This is why I had these conversations that sparked this episode. We might have the answers in us, but we get so caught up in overthinking and questioning everything and self-doubts and negative self-talk. And we look back at past tries and failures, and they start to build up in our head, and we start to question ourselves, and the doubt gets bigger and bigger, and we get to a point where we don't trust ourselves anymore. We don't trust our gut. We don't trust our intuition. It's still there. We probably feel it, but we're ignoring it if we do notice it. This is the Energy Within podcast, all about accessing, nurturing, and building your energy and confidence so that you can design your life the way you want. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki practitioner, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode number 67, and today we're talking about the answers. This was sparked from a couple conversations that I've had recently, and I'm going to try to come at it from a couple different angles. This is a first for me. I actually recorded this, so my podcasts come out on Wednesdays. Sometimes I'm good about recording pretty early on, but typically I end up recording on like a Monday or even Tuesday the day before and getting it all done in one day. I don't prefer to do it that way. That's just how it works out sometimes. So right now it's Tuesday as I'm recording. I already recorded on Monday, and even as I was recording it, and especially once I was done, I was like, that's crap. I didn't explain that the way that I wanted to. I felt like I just rambled, kind of like I'm doing right now. But the point is, I want to start off by telling you that the reason I'm re-recording is not out of the need to be perfect, but out of the desire to put forth my best. I don't ever want to just throw something together and put it out there. Maybe on my stories on Instagram or Facebook, I might random things, but every actual post that I make, videos, podcasts, there's intention behind it. I want it to be impactful. I want it to resonate. I want it to help you. So if you're ever in a similar position, try not to get hung up on thinking that it means you're a perfectionist just because you redo something. It doesn't always mean that. Sometimes we do have to be honest that the first draft isn't always the best. A lot of times it is, I feel like, because the first time, sorry, I heard something go in the background with my kids. The first time that you write something out, it tends to be just from the heart, whatever's just popping out at the moment. And it's the most genuine, it's the most real at that point. When you start editing and tweaking too much, it can become too curated. But that doesn't mean that first drafts are always perfect or the best thing to go with, that there's not room to tweak things. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but I learned that early on when I was a little kid and writing was my big thing. I still really want to get back to it. I have books and other things inside of me that I would love to write. I just got to make time to do it now. But anyway, I was very against critique, editing, because I felt like what I wrote is what I wrote. But I was also like, 10 at the time. But nothing had ever really changed my mind on that. And I got to high school and I was taking a couple writing courses. I even went to, don't laugh at me, it was actually one of the best experiences of my life. I went to a 2-week writing camp in Illinois when I was 15. And between my high school classes and that workshop, I started to understand the value of critique and editing and polishing things up to make them be their best. At the same time, I've also had pieces of writing where the first draft was the best received, and I was even told by my teacher not to bother editing it, even though that was the homework assignment. So it depends. The idea here, the reason I'm letting myself go off on this tangent, is that you need to go with your gut. You need to learn how to trust your gut because the answers are already in you. But stay with me. This isn't going to be your typical talk about how you already know everything you need to know. While I do fully 100% believe that, the problem is a lot of us get caught up, myself included, especially. This is why I'm doing this episode. This is why I had these conversations that sparked this episode. We might have the answers in us, but we get so caught up in overthinking and questioning everything and self-doubts and negative self-talk. And we look back at past tries and failures, and they start to build up in our head, and we start to question ourselves, and the doubt gets bigger and bigger, and we get to a point where we don't trust ourselves anymore. We don't trust our gut. We don't trust our intuition. It's still there. We probably feel it, but we're ignoring it if we do notice it. So here's the thing about answers. Yes, we do need to start learning how to tune into our intuition, to listen for the answers, to feel for the answers. We did come here with everything that we need, and we are purposely going through a process to get ourselves to remember. That's the whole point of this experience, is remembering. And it's funny when you realize you're going through an awakening. It's somewhat related to my purpose. So I've recently realized that my purpose involves helping to wake people up to their power, to help you remember why you're here, what you're supposed to do. And the way to do that is to raise your vibration. Can you hear the toys in the background? Sorry. They were sleeping. Well, one of them was sleeping yesterday when I recorded, but I'm trying to get this done earlier today. So we have toys in the background today. The thing is, on one level, I've always known that, and I can see looking back that my actions have always reflected that in some way. I just wasn't as conscious of it being a fact. And now I'm like mind blown, like, holy crap, yes, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. It's all tying together. It's all starting to make sense. But then there's other things that I see differently now. And I'm not quite ready to go into what all those things are, but just I feel like I'm looking at the world with fresh eyes. And I'm in this space where I go back and forth between feeling that higher vibration and dropping back down and getting, I don't want to say depressed. I don't feel like that's the right word, but just getting sad and maybe a little bit fearful and worried. And I was walking down the stairs to go switch the laundry into the dryer today, and I had this thought pop into my head. Why did I wake up? Like, not why did I wake up today, like physically, but just like, why am I more aware of my purpose and what I'm here for? And I heard back, because you needed to see the possibilities. And that could have been me answering myself. But it's funny, now as I say that, and literally physically in the back of my head, I hear like, it is you, it's your higher self saying that. It's connected to, it's not about hearing voices in your head, so don't, we're fine. It's about connecting back to yourself, learning how to listen to yourself. And there's a deeper connection and meaning there. I'll save that for maybe a different episode. I'm not going to get too involved in any of that discussion right now. Go read Conversations with God. I'll leave it at that. Go read Conversations with God. Start with the first book, work your way up, but start with the first one. But by waking up, by learning how to tune into my intuition, to trust myself, I'm realizing that I do have the answers that I need for myself. And if not, I'm more comfortable with following the path to figure it out, to then realize that I knew it all along. I hope you're understanding me right. It's not in the sense of like, I have all the answers and I know all the right answers. It's a personal thing. The answers that you need for you, for your life, for your purpose, for your energy, for your confidence, you already know them. That's the point. But let's flip back to this other side, the whole point of this conversation. Those of us who maybe in some ways we do remember, but we still question ourselves. We still get caught up in self-doubt. There's this idea in life coaching, especially business coaching, I think all types of coaching. And this is what I was talking about with the first person who I started having this conversation with, where you're taught to try to lead the client to figure out the answers for themselves. It's based on the principle that they already know the answer. We are just a guide to help them bring it out of themselves. And while I believe that that is a good thing, and I believe that there's a time and a place to do that, you want to empower your client. You want them to feel like they're the ones doing the work, because they are, but you want them to know that they can do this, that they are powerful, that they are intelligent, and they can figure this out. But again, those of us who are overthinkers, sometimes the reason we're reaching out for help is because we're so caught up in that we don't trust ourselves anymore. We need that feedback. We don't need someone to turn it back on us and be like, well, what do you think? I don't know what I think. That's why I'm asking for help. Would you just tell me what you think? You can be nice about it. You can still be nice about it. You can tell someone the truth and be kind. You can be blunt and be kind. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times I want someone to be blunt with me. Tell me if this is a good idea. Tell me what you think of it. Tell me if something should be tweaked and what you think should be tweaked and why, and what you think the options would be. I don't think that there's anything wrong with sharing your answers. It doesn't mean that they have to be the right answers, or that you have to force them on anybody, or that the person who's asking has to accept them and use them. But we need to help each other open our eyes. Even if, I feel like sometimes if you are blunt, that's what helps the person to remember that they have the answer. Because maybe what you said bluntly was the answer and they knew it. They just needed someone to affirm it. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking for affirmation. We're human. No matter what level we're vibrating at, we're human. We need to ask for help and we need to help each other. We have the answers, but we also need to share the answers. This is how we get through to the next level. I think this is a good time to offer that it might be time for you to do a Reiki session so that you can get that feedback, so you can get clarity. I just did a group Reiki session over the weekend for the women in a business coaching group that I'm a part of. And it seriously was it was definitely the most powerful group Reiki session that I've ever done. It also may have been just the most powerful Reiki session I've ever done, period. I made everybody cry. Not intentionally. It wasn't my goal. It wasn't me personally who made them cry. It was the messages that came through, the things that they saw and they felt. And It's so cool. I love when I'm describing what I did, what I felt, what I heard, saw, and then the person or people receiving the Reiki confirm that, like, I felt this, I saw that, and it's the same thing. And a lot of it at the same time. Like, hey, I did this in the beginning. Oh my God, this happened in the beginning. It was so cool. We did card pulls, individual card pulls for extra clarity. And it was amazing to see how those messages resonated. And I got messages back individually from people about literally transformations that happened. A positive response in regards to a relationship, clarity around new business ideas and what next steps are. Like, I didn't even go in with those specific intentions. It's just what the people received and what it did for them. Reiki can do so much. It is universal in all ways. It's universal life force energy, and it works universally on universal problems. Physical, spiritual, emotional, anything that you think you need to focus on. I'll have a link in the show notes to my new Reiki page that will lay out for you a little bit more about what Reiki is. There are a few testimonials on there. Some, I always hear people say FAQ, frequently asked questions. I look at that and tell me I'm not the only one. If I'm weird, it's fine. I'm okay with it. But I always look at that and I just see facts. Like without a T, obviously, like not pronounced like facts, but FAQ, S, facts, which makes sense. I mean, if you liken it to the word facts, I mean, you're asking a question and getting facts back. I'm done. Don't write to me about that. Just unless you do the same thing. Write to me if you do the same thing. That's all I have for you today. If you need answers, if you need a way to raise your vibration, come do a Reiki session with me. They're only $25 right now. If you feel like you need a physical way to raise your vibration, come hop into my virtual fitness studio. You can do a drop-in rate to do a single class anytime you are available. You can do a membership. And you can either do all access, where you get access to all the live classes, all the recordings, or if you know that my current class times don't work for you and you'll never make a live class, there's an on-demand membership option. Or if you're like, I just want to check out one of the videos, go get one of the videos. Each of the memberships come with free trials. So the on-demand membership comes with a 7-day free trial. And the all-access membership comes with a 14-day trial. You get 2 whole weeks to try it out and see if it's for you. We have fun, we sweat, we work hard, and it's a great way to start to get your energy moving. That's how you raise your vibration. You can't let the energy stay stuck. You need to move the energy. So if you need help moving the energy, come to a class, come do a Reiki session. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. Feel free to hop into the Energy Within Facebook group. You can ask me there. You can ask questions. Check out all the posts. I'm going to be in there as often as I can, coming up, doing more group Reiki, doing live card pulls as I have time. Or you can send me a DM. Doesn't matter, Facebook or Instagram. I kind of like Instagram for that, but either way is fine. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to share it. Go ahead and take a screenshot or a screen flow, share it to your social media, tag me, and let me know what you liked. Let me know what resonated. Let me know what you need more of. Thank you, as always, for being here. I love you, and I'll see you next week.